Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today with a diet and exercise video. This is going to be an update on everything I'm doing right now. I like to have all of this in one place, especially, and I like to redo these when things have changed. And things really have changed over the years and over the last year, especially with my diet. So I'm going to jump right into this and I will timestamp everything below. And I'm going to start with exercise because that's going to be super fast. That has really changed for me where I'm not going to a gym anymore. I'm doing everything at home. I am doing cardio at home. I'm doing either treadmill or my Peloton. Really in no particular order, just whatever I'm in the mood for. I will get on and do 30 minutes of either treadmill or Peloton. And, that's pretty much my cardio. And then for weight training, I will do 2 to 3 times a week, usually twice. I'm still doing Les Mills body pump, which I used to do at the gym, and I may again. I may start doing it at the gym again. But for the last couple of years, I've been doing it at home with Les Mills on demand. And body pump is just lighter weights and very high repetition. So, it just adds some good lean muscle mass to you. And that's my workout. So I'm going to move on to diet. And what I'm doing now is really keto. I'm really doing a very clean version of keto. There's a lot of versions of keto that you can do. There is dirty keto where you're just doing fast and processed and you can buy things already made. Very, what I call sloppy keto with a lot of dairy fat and just kind of sloppy fats, just adding fats in to add fats in. But I'm going to tell you what my form of keto is, and it's just a very clean form of keto. Okay, so I'm going to start with what it's not for me. It is not zero carb. It is not a lot of dairy fat and sloppy cheeses, just adding cheese on everything. It's not zero veggie and fruit because those have carbs in them. I still eat those. And it's not a lot of packaged keto foods and artificial sweeteners so that it looks like the standard American diet, but you've substituted flours and alternative sugars, but it still looks like the standard American diet. You're still eating cheesecake. It's just low carb. You're still eating. This is not that to me. So I'm going to tell you what this is to me. Okay, the first thing it is a moderate amount of natural protein. I do not eat a lot of fake protein. Protein powders do not make me feel good. I don't know what it is about them. I don't like protein powders, so I don't do them. I do a lot of chicken. I do a lot of beef. I'm doing grass-fed. I haven't graduated to grass-finished yet, but I do grass-fed. Chicken, sausage. I'll do Applegate Farms. I didn't bring it in here. Chicken sausage, or just regular sausage and make sausage balls with it. I do a good moderate amount of protein. And I say moderate because I don't eat that many meals. I eat 1 to 2 meals a day. So you're not going to get that high of protein unless you're substituting with fake protein. And I don't do that. I just don't like it. So a moderate amount of protein, a moderate amount of fat. I'm doing this, maybe I should start with, I'm doing this dairy-free. Or minimal dairy, I should say. I'm not adding a lot of cheeses. I do a lot of cream cheese, but I'm doing a dairy-free cream cheese and a dairy-free sour cream. And these are staples for me. I love these. I add these to a ton of things. And I'll do a food vlog, here shortly. But I add those to veggies, I add it to meat, I add it to a lot of stuff. And these are great. They're gluten-free, GMO-free, dairy-free. They're pretty much everything free. 2 grams of carbs for this cream cheese and 70 calories for 2 tablespoons. That's really good. And then the dairy-free sour cream is not even enough of anything to count, like 0 carb. The cheeses that I do add, I will sometimes add a little of Parmesan to some things, fresh Parmesan, sprinkled. I think Thomas DeLauer said that's easier on your system, maybe less inflammatory. And goat cheese. I will do goat cheese. But just adding cheddar to a bunch of stuff, I do not do that. where I'm getting my fat, because I do a moderate amount of fat, I'm doing a bulletproof coffee in the morning where I add a teaspoon of grass-fed butter and then a teaspoon of either coconut oil or MCT oil. And I add a teaspoon of one of these and a teaspoon of this. And I do that twice in 2 cups of coffee. That step keeps me full till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, at least. So this fat really gets me through the day so I can do intermittent fasting. I don't really focus on intermittent fasting, but it makes me intermittent fast. So a teaspoon of one of these oils and a teaspoon of the grass-fed butter in my magic bullet. Screw the lid on very loosely, or it will explode because the coffee's hot. But the butter turns it a golden creamy color, so I don't need any cream. It's delicious. And that is a huge step in this way of eating for me because that keeps me full. That is my main fat that I have for the day. Then when I'm cooking, I sometimes, rarely, but sometimes would use ghee in my vegetables. If I'm cooking cauliflower or cabbage or whatever I'm cooking, asparagus, and I want a fat, rarely do I do this, but I will put ghee or coconut oil or avocado oil in that if I want a little bit of extra fat to keep me full through the rest of the night. But honestly, I usually don't do that. I mostly get my fats from meat, like animal products, and my coffee in the morning. I will sometimes add an avocado to a green drink if I do a green drink. Now, I will tell you, I've had people tell me they added green drinks and gained weight. My drinks are green. Y'all, they are just greens. This is a mixed green with Swiss chard and collards and stuff. It's just 3 cups of this, or 2 to 3 cups of this, a half a cucumber, and maybe a half of an avocado. It tastes like creamy grass. I'm not drinking it for the taste. I'm drinking it for the vitamins. I don't make it good because I'm not going to blend up a fruit and then drink it because that would make me gain weight. But if I'll just do this, half of an avocado and then sometimes half a cucumber, that and my coffee, I'm good for the whole day until 5 o'clock or 6 when I eat dinner. For a fat, I could also add a Justin's almond butter. There's probably healthier ones than this. This may have vegetable oil, palm oil, I think, and I don't know that that's good for you. But I occasionally will do a tablespoon of this, and then nuts are my other form of fat. And if I'm hungry and I can feel, okay, I didn't get enough fat in my diet, and I know that because I'm getting hungry fast, I will I'll grab a little handful of pecans, or my favorite is walnuts, because walnut halves, this just barely has any carbs, like maybe 1 net and 3 total for 1/4 of a cup. These are delicious. I keep these in the freezer and I'll grab a handful of nuts if I'm getting hungry. And it's that fat. It will really stick with you, get you to the next meal, and does not add any bloat, doesn't disturb your blood sugar. So those are the way I'm adding fats. Okay, next for me, this is grain-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. Okay, keto being egg-free has been kind of a trick. I got off all that when I was on the Wahls protocol, and I'm still on that version, that part of Wahls protocol. I'll link the video about that down below. And I felt so good off of those things. I have not added them back. I feel great. Now, with eggs, with keto, people want to put those eggs in there, and eggs are so good for you. But if you have nerve issues, like I don't have an autoimmune, but I do have weird nerve flares. They don't know what they are. And so I'm trying to get my body as healthy as possible and find out what foods I'm sensitive to. So I took all this off for a time, and I feel so good I haven't added it back. I'll tell you, taking off eggs on keto is hard. That's why I depend so heavily on my coffee and my green drinks with those added fats somewhere else because I'm not doing eggs. If I'm doing breakfast, now this is going to sound strange to y'all. I will either do a wrap, which is totally normal to me now, or with sausage and bacon, like a breakfast wrap, or I will sometimes do greens. I'll cook bacon and then cook greens in them and then put in Kite Hill cream cheese, dairy-free. It's like a creamed greens, like creamed spinach. It's delicious. Add sausage and bacon in there and you've got breakfast and you've got your greens. That is going to sound really strange to a lot of y'all, I know, and it did to me too. And it took some getting used to, but now I feel so good and I love it. I love it. So it's dairy-free or minimal dairy, it's egg-free, and it's grain-free, and that's no gluten-free grains. The only exception to that is sometimes I will add breadcrumbs, gluten-free breadcrumbs to vegetables, but maybe once a month. I will do that. Okay, this is, to me, my keto is fats, but not overly fatted. I have tried this in the past when my cousin Rebecca went on this. I tried to do keto with her, and when I did, I added too much dairy fat, and I was really living on, for a very short time, regular cream cheese, cheddar cheese, and more cheese, and meat, and I felt terrible. So when I went on it this time, fat is in there. It's in my coffees, it's in my veggies, it's in my animal fats, but I'm not adding a ton of extra fat in other places just to add it. So it's moderate fat and it's very calculated and it's healthy fat. It's not a bunch of, I call it sloppy dairy fat. It's not just adding that on just to add it on because it's delicious. That favors the standard American diet. Okay. I told you this is not zero vegetable and fruit. My keto is very high veggie. When I was on Wahls protocol, I added in 3 greens, 3 colored veggies or fruits, and 3 sulfur vegetables, which are antioxidants. I have kept that closely. I usually do 2 to 3 greens, usually 3, for the vitamins. It has tons of magnesium, just tons of good vitamins in veggies. Good vitamins, good minerals, and then the color. What is that called? I'll put it right here. So I get 3 greens, 2 to 3. I get 3 colors every day because that deep, rich color is good for you. I get that in the form of asparagus, broccoli, red cabbage, red kale, red beets, gold beets. Since I don't have grains in my diet, I can have a beet. They're high sugar, but the only place I'm getting my sugar is from my vegetables and an occasional fruit. So you add a beet in there, it's not going to hurt me. I still have a hard time getting up to 35 carbs. Okay, I thought I wasn't recording. That would be bad. And then 3 sulfur vegetables, and those are detoxifiers. Those are mushrooms, asparagus, garlic, onions. They're good for your gut and they're good for your health. So I get 3, 3, and 3, color, greens, and sulfurs. And I'm getting up to 50 carbs a day, and that is where I'm doing that. I'm doing that with vegetables. I'm grain-free. I'm not doing it with any breads. I don't do a lot of sauces. I don't do a lot of added fat sauces and other things added in. I'm pretty much meat and vegetables with occasional fruit. Where are you going to get your carbs? You're going to get those from your vegetables, from my asparagus, my broccoli, my beets. Then I'll add sometimes a little bit of fruit. If I'm adding fruit, it's going to be berries and not even really blueberries. Those are kind of high for a berry. Blackberries, strawberries, which are the best, strawberries, and raspberries. I will add those sometimes, and I measure those. Like half a cup is, I think, 10 grams of carbs. So, you know, I'm very controlled with that, but I get a ton of fruits and veggies and those vitamins, okay? I go on a total carb, not a net carb. I do add my net carbs, but only so I know how much fiber I'm getting. If you take your total carb and you take your net carb and subtract your net from your total, that's how much fiber you're getting. And on this diet, I am consistently over 20 grams of fiber a day. which is good. If you've never counted your fiber, that is really good. So I'm getting over 20 grams of fiber. That's why I count my net, but I go on the total because everybody processes their foods differently. And I have figured out I feel bad on less than 30 grams of total carbs. And I feel a little bit heavy if I go over really 40 to 45. So I stay in that range, 30 to 45. Okay, next, and this is crucial for your health. I am very aware of how much magnesium and sodium I'm getting. I am doing an electrolyte, always. I've talked about this in a lot of videos. Ellis for Living discovered this electrolyte. It's like Dr. Berg's, I think. And I love this. This has 130 grams of magnesium. Now, I'll tell you, if you do what I do, this and what I've just told you, all these veggies, that is enough. You don't need any more magnesium supplements than that. But count your magnesium. Don't just take it ad nauseum. As much magnesium as I want. I love magnesium because it relaxes me. Well, to sleep, I was taking magnesium glycinate. One of you girls told me about it, and I loved it. Before I started on all these greens and nuts and all almond flour and all this other stuff that also has magnesium, I was overdosing. How do I know that? I couldn't wake up. I went into a slight depression. I was having a little bit of depression and I could not motivate. I took some magnesium away and that went away. I feel so good now. So get your recommended magnesium, but don't get too much. Don't go, ham on the magnesium. The sodium, so important because on low carb, your body dumps water. When it dumps water, it dumps minerals. Do not go to low sodium. So my electrolyte doesn't have much sodium at all. So I brought the wrong thing. But I will put either sea salt or Himalayan pink Himalayan salt in water, like 1/4 of a teaspoon or 1/8 of a teaspoon every day. And then at night, I get 3 pickles. And this is 200 milligrams of sodium a piece, or like 250. So I'll do dill pickles and I'll do salt in my water to be sure I'm getting enough sodium. And y'all, if I don't do that, I do not feel good. I do not. That is the magic of succeeding at keto, is to be sure your electrolytes stay steady. I haven't really delved into the potassium. I probably need to, but I'm feeling good just watching my sodium, my magnesium, and then I take this, and this has some good potassium in it. So just really be aware of your electrolytes. Okay, and then lastly, just to sum it all up, I keep it simple, I keep it clean, and I've never felt better in my life. I feel so good. So anyway, I wanted just to update y'all on, what I'm doing, where my diet has settled out. I've been on this for months and I feel great. So, okay, I was putting my things up from making this video, and I was putting the greens up. And I forgot to tell y'all something. If you decide to do as many greens and veggies as I'm doing, that can suppress the iodine in your system, I believe. It can affect your thyroid. So with all the greens I'm doing, I also do kelp. I'll put a picture right here. I forgot to bring it in here. I'm also doing kelp so that it doesn't affect my thyroid. And I think I can tell a difference on that. I used to have a 5 o'clock slump bad, or about 4:30. It's 4 o'clock right now. I would be like kind of wilting by now. I don't. I've been able to take off my afternoon coffee because I don't need it. Like, I don't need any more energy than I've got. I feel so good. Ellis for Living told me about that. And I'm going to link a video she sent me by Dr. Berg, where he talks about that. So if you do add all of this, I would add kelp or seaweed to your supplement regimen. It has made all the difference. So I wanted to add that. Great. So Anyway, y'all let me know down below any tips you have for us, and that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.